welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, well, pretty much this whole channel is new. So my name is Lexi. I'm new to YouTube. Today, what I wanted to do was a get to know me video. I'm enjoying your comments so much. I love when people comment on the videos, getting to know you, and the people that repeatedly comment. I just feel like we're friends and I love that. So first of all, excuse me, I have been under the weather all day, so I'm sure you can hear it and you can't smell me, but I smell like I bathed in essential oils before I started because I wanted to be able to breathe and not be chewing on a cough drop or sucking on it while I'm doing this video. Again, too, if you've been watching, I apologize for the lighting. I'm trying. I've got like a lamp here, but this house is just really dark, and anytime that I want to do something like this, it's after my kids go to bed, and it's just really dark in this house still. So my last house had like can lights and stuff, which was really nice, and I'm not used to not having that. So, and my Christmas decor is still up. Yes, I put it up like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days before Christmas, so it feels like I just did it, and to put in all that work and just have it, I just am still kind of enjoying the magic of it when the lights are out and all the twinkling lights. So I'll probably leave it up till February. It's just how it's gonna be. So I love Christmas. So I went on my Instagram and asked for some questions from some people, and then there was still a party here yesterday, kind of a midweek Christmas and New Year's. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to upload this. We still don't have internet. Oh my goodness. But this will be, it's not New Year's yet. New Year's Eve is tomorrow. But by the time I post this up, I'm sure it'll be after New Year's. So I wanted to do a get to know me tag, a couple questions that people asked me. There's quite a few on here, so I don't know if I'll cover them all, or maybe I'll cover them all and see that it's a million years long and take some out. So we'll see, but we'll get started. So my full name, somebody asked my full name, is Alexis Noel Lucanen, but my maiden name is Fry. So it was Alexis Noel Fry, and now it's Lucanen, but I go by Lexi. I really like my middle name, Noel. The reason that my name is Noel is because my mom had thought that my brother, my older brother, was gonna be a girl, and so she picked out my name then, Alexis Noel. He ended up being a boy, but he was born in December, and so it was kind of a Christmassy name. She really liked the middle name Noel. And 2 years later, I was born in September, but she still liked the name, so she used it. And yeah, I like my name. I like Lexi. My one brother calls me Alexis. And it always feels a little weird when he does it, but it's kind of his thing, so, you know, I like that. I have 2 children, Malachi and Lenya, and they are 3, and Lenya she's in July, so I guess she's 17 months. So Malachi and Lenya, I love having a boy and a girl. And do I want more children? You know, part of me really feels like I do. I always thought I would want more than 2. But right now I'm really enjoying 2. I'm enjoying, first of all, like having a car. And instead of a van or an SUV or something like that, I really like my car. And I'm just enjoying like not being outnumbered yet, you know what I mean? Levi can each have 1, and they're amazing children, and I'm thoroughly enjoying like watching them grow up and not being to the point of being in the crazy, just like trying to navigate. It's still crazy, but I'm enjoying that. Why YouTube? So I have wanted to be a YouTuber for many, many years. Confession, I didn't used to anyway watch a ton of YouTube, especially YouTube, like I had never watched channels like this, like what I'm doing. I never watched mommy vlogs. I watched, you know, things like car channels and makeup videos, basically. I never really watched a lot of vlogs, actually, and so I knew I wanted to do YouTube, but I didn't know what direction I wanted it to be. I had never thought about really just doing YouTube about my life. I kind of thought maybe that would be boring. But I had one of my friends who's a friend in real life, but she started doing YouTube and she's very successful. Her name's Adeline. If you haven't seen, I'll link her channel down below. She's amazing. Does mommy vlogs, and she kind of introduced me to that whole world, and tons of people now that she's either collabed with or I've seen through her channel that I love watching, and it just kind of introduced me to this world. So I still like have I don't know where my channel's direction is gonna be, but so far, like from your comments and everything, I feel like people are enjoying what I'm doing, which is awesome. But yeah, leave suggestions. You know, if you ever feel like you want to see something, please leave it in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys want to see. And moving forward, now that we're getting a little settled in this house, I think I'll be doing a lot more DIY stuff, that kind of thing. But I always have wanted to do YouTube, and Addie just really encouraged me to take the first steps. So I will appreciate her for forever doing that. And it still is a little surreal. Like, I still can't believe that people actually watch my videos and enjoy them. And like, it's really surreal to me. This is just a dream thing for me. And my goal this year is to start getting paid for it and have it be something that I can do way long term and that I build. And to be honest, I'm like the worst social media person ever, like legitimately. Facebook, Instagram. I just got Instagram this year for the first time. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on like Facebook. I had a Facebook and then I deleted the app because it just felt like a waste of time to me sometimes. So I'm really terrible at it, but I'm hoping that I'm learning and gonna get better at it, gonna get better at posting. So if you wanna follow me on Instagram and help me out there, give me suggestions, feel free. I don't even know my Instagram name, so. Oh, being married young. So my to-be sister-in-law, she's engaged to my brother, asked me to talk about being married young. So I'm definitely gonna include this one. I was married, me and Levi met when he was 15, almost to be 16, I was 16. So we were kind of like, I guess high school sweethearts. But we were long distance. So I was in Pennsylvania, he was in Michigan, but we got engaged, oh goodness, at 19 and got married at 20. And then had our first baby by what, 21? Yeah, 20 and like 21 and a half or whatever. So I was married very young. I specifically remember my mom warning me to not get married young, but I of course thought I knew everything and knew what I was doing, and me and Levi would be an exception to having issues or anything. Oh my gosh, I was so and I'm only 26 right now. I keep thinking I'm 24, but I'm 26. So I had my first baby at 22. Anyway, so married young it was great. It kept me out of a lot of trouble, I think. First of all, like, you know, a lot of my friends are just getting out of the partying and everything stage. Like, not a lot of my friends, because I didn't really hang out with that crowd, but like, I'm so thankful for how quickly I had to grow up, especially because Malachi was kind of a surprise, our first baby. And I'm thankful for being married young. I have to say, like, we had some really, really great years already, and we've moved a ton. We've gone through a lot of life already. And so I'm thankful for all of that. This last year was probably the toughest year of our marriage, and the first year that I like really questioned, like, man, should I have been married that young? I'm just being honest. I kind of felt like this year, like, did I miss out? Did I miss out having kids so young? And like being responsible, and I had almost this feeling of like wanting to be free for a little while, and I think I'm coming out of that, hopefully. I had a really good conversation with one of my mentors the other day, and I was just having a really tough time. Me and Levi we've been like arguing a lot lately. I'm just being honest with YouTube. But the reason why is because he was always working like 70 or 80 hours a week, like our whole marriage, and so I kind of had my routine and my routine with the kids, and he kind of had his thing, and then what we would do in the short time he had after work, and we didn't want that, but I had not realized how that was our whole life. So then now, like, he and I have a business together, and we spend all of our time together, and it's created a lot of friction, but it's created a lot of really good things too, and I think that God is using it for the better. And I know that this next year I'm going to look back on this past year that was so tough and just be thankful for all the lessons I learned, and the people that I cherished. We lost a lot of people in our family this year, and you know, just looking back on all of those things, I think it's gonna be really great. So, moving on, maybe to our happier. I feel like that wasn't happy. I'm sorry, Paulina. Wow, that was conclusion of being married young. I'm glad I got married young. It's definitely got its ups and downs. I think all marriage is tough at some points, but I'm so thankful to do life with Levi more than to do it without him. And there's so many blessings in that. And I have friends who were married young too with me, and I would say the biggest thing is to have people around you who have done it, and just be open to their advice. Like, don't think that you're above them and like what they say. Like, they may say things and you'll be like, we'll never be like that. No, like, listen to their advice. I guess that's what I would say. Favorite drink. So my favorite drink is probably coffee. I love coffee. I love like coffee with cream and no sugar. I love, if I'm gonna have sugar in coffee, it's either gonna be like maple syrup or honey, and it's gonna be cold. But in hot coffee, I don't like to have any sugar unless I'm doing like a specific latte, and even then, like even like a pumpkin spice latte, I can't finish it if it's sweet. I like it not sweet. Let's see, my favorite project. My favorite, this is from somebody who knows that I do a lot of projects. I would probably say the favorite thing I've ever done is this last table that I've made. I made this table for Levi when we were, a year or two ago. We were in an apartment and we needed a new table, and I had made a table for him previously, and I had made the mistake of using lumber just from like Home Depot, and it was too green. It wasn't dried out enough, and so it warped, and so we needed a new table, and I was just experimenting, and I made this table and two of the benches that go with it. The benches are a little bit wobbly. I messed up on one of them and had to make them a little thinner than the plans that I was following called for, and it's made them unstable. So I actually want to fix them this week and put something on the bottom of them to make them a little bit more stable. But that's probably my favorite project. Oh, tattoos. So somebody asked me on YouTube about my tattoos, to do a video about them, but I think I'll just include it in here. So I have several tattoos. My first tattoo was this one. This is my wedding date. I kind of went with it because me and my husband were both getting one together, because I'm not very brave when it came to tattoos when I first started. And I wanted it to be smaller than this, not so chunky, but the guy told me that in order to get straight lines, it was going to be hard to make it much smaller than this, which I wish I would have not listened to him and like gone with a different font. I wish it would have been smaller. Like, I wish it would have been like this big, but I still like it. but it will lead to another story. So everybody kind of made fun of it for a while. My dad would, anyway, he would say things that are not very nice. He'd ask if I was like in prison and stuff like that because it was like numbers tattooed. So it wasn't very pretty. So my mom kept urging me to get like flowers or something around it to make it pretty. So, which led to one of my next tattoos. Oh, actually, my tattoo after that was on my ankle. Here, I'll show you. So this is a cross on my ankle. I really love this one, but the guy rushed and it's kind of funky right here, so I'd like to eventually get that fixed. But that's my ankle. Anyway, so that was my ankle one. That was my second tattoo. And so this was my third tattoo. So this tattoo is not my favorite. Here you can see it like this. So you can see the kind of lily, and then it goes up here to, this is the top of it right here. It's supposed to be a watercolor flower. So here's my personality. I am the kind of person who does not want to cause conflict. I don't really stick up for my own opinions. Lots of that stuff. It's not my favorite part about myself. And I booked this tattoo like 6 months in advance, sent a whole thing of pictures and everything in an email to the tattoo artist. He was very hard to get in with. He was supposedly really good. I'd never met him before, so I went for my appointment assuming that it would be a consultation on how I wanted my tattoo and that he had studied all of my stuff, and he had not. So he drew up something really quick and kind of put it on here, but his sketch, any of you who have tattoos know you kind of put a sketch in ink over your tattoo. His sketch was just a really rough estimate. It had none of these details in the petals, and it was supposed to be to make this pretty, right? To make this more feminine. So it was supposed to be over here, and when he put it on, he's like, oh yeah, I'll connect it in there, and told me all this stuff. And then my arm was back here, and this particular tattoo he used, for most of it, he used one of the tattoo things that have 3 or 4 needles instead of just one. It makes kind of a lighter shade. So I was on my phone watching Netflix, something, while he was tattooing, and all of a sudden I felt him like go up my arm, and I was like, I was not paying attention. I had wanted it like kind of up here and then down into my arm. So I was like, can I go to the bathroom? So I went to the bathroom and saw what he had done, and it was not what I wanted at all. And I didn't know what to do. I panicked. I was like, I can't stop him halfway through a tattoo. What am I supposed to do? So I let him finish the tattoo. I didn't say anything like at all about it. It was crazy. And so to this day, I don't really like it. It's a very edgy, and I feel like the proportions are wrong. I didn't want it to go past here because I wanted to be able to cover it with like a 3/4 inch. Actually, I didn't want it to go past here. So I have an idea of what I want it to be as a cover-up, but I know it's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of money, so I haven't done it yet. And I haven't found an artist I completely trust anymore. I think I have maybe now an artist in Cary who's very good. Like, their shop is extremely clean, and they're just seem like a really high-class people, and they do consultations beforehand. That was the other thing. The artist had not even looked at my email that I had sent him 6 months before, and it just seemed really unprofessional and shady. And the whole reason I even went through with it is because I had already waited that time. I didn't want to wait another 6 months to a year to do it. I was excited about the tattoo, but I should have waited. I should have had somebody with me. Make sure you do your homework before you get a tattoo. But I think it can be covered up, but I think to have it covered up, it's gonna be almost a half sleeve. And I think I'm okay with that in one sense, but in another sense, you know, I own a tree company, which is kind of fine for tattoos, a little bit, but I also own another company that we have leadership and financial information, and I talk on stage a lot, and I will always have to wear long sleeves to be professional. So like, that kind of bums me out a little bit, but it is what it is. It was my choice at the end of the day. And one of the things I need to get better at is confronting people, especially when it's something that's going on my body forever. So, and then this is my last tattoo. This is poison that I think is gonna leave a scar. But this is my last tattoo. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, this is probably my favorite tattoo. I got this in June of this last year, 2018. It says walk worthy, and I love this tattoo. I got it for my grandfather. There is a part in the Bible, for those of you that don't know, I'm a Christian, and my grandfather was as well, and he was somebody that really influenced my life and led me towards Christ. And there's a part in the Bible where Paul the Apostle wrote several letters to different churches, and he talks about walking worthy of Christ and walking worthy of the gospel. And he was basically saying, like, your works are not what saves you. That's not at all what saves you, but he strongly was encouraging the people in the churches to walk worthy of a life that Christ would want. And I really felt like my grandfather was that, and so I got this tattoo to always remind me that I need to be on the up and up wherever I go, and that he wasn't a very talkative person. He was pretty quiet and did a lot of tasks, and I get a lot of my tinkering and wanting to fix things and all of that from him. And sorry, whew. I just wanted to remember that in my life, to remember who he was, and try to live with his example in mind. So that's why I have that tattoo. How is my move going? So the downstairs is pretty much how I want it as far as furniture wise. Of course, I move things all the time. But the move has been good. There's been a couple little things with our landlord already, which makes me really concerned. There's some things at the house there. When we got to the house, when we first looked at the house, there was a ton of trash outside, and the landlord was like, oh yeah, all of that'll be gone by the time you move in, which was like 3 weeks later or something like that. Well, when we got there, it was still there, and it continued to sit there. So finally I was getting some estimates of my own, and it was like really odd stuff. There was like roofing tar, and just a bunch of stuff that's not traditional trash. And so the estimate to get it out of here was a lot, and the landlord didn't really like that. So he kept putting it off. Well, we were having Christmas parties here, and it was just disgusting to look at. So I finally got fed up and loaded it in our truck a couple days ago. It's a long story. All of that to be said, like, I don't know, it put a damper on, there's a couple things I want fixed in this house, like a door that won't close and the window in it's broken, and I feel like I can't ask my landlord for anything. So that's kind of like been heavy on my spirits, because I, as a renter, you know, we had wanted to do a rent to own originally with this place, and he didn't want to do it. So we're just renting with a traditional year lease. And the reason for us renting and wanting to do a rent-to-own in the first place is because our company, our tree company, is so new in this area that it would be really hard to, so we don't have a huge established work history. So you have to have like a year or two in order to buy a home, get a loan, that kind of thing. So we're waiting to build that up. Anyway, all of that to be said, the property is beautiful. It's got a lot of work. It's been neglected for sure. And inside the house has a ton of quirks, a ton of things that need fixed. And all of that has felt now pretty intimidating to me. And so I've been looking at other places in the area just to get some comparables. And there definitely seems like there's some better options. So basically right now I'm gonna wait out our year here. It's a nice home for a rental home, but I don't know if I would want to live here. So I like the property, and if I could make this aesthetically pleasing and maybe use it as another rental home for somebody or an Airbnb, and you know, maybe build my own home, that's kind of what we're looking into. So that's how all of that is going. Yeah, I've moved a lot lately, so I'm just happy in one sense to just be somewhere, and somewhere that has nice space and is pretty. I mean, this part is really pretty and I like the fireplace and that kind of thing. There's just a lot of quirks. So I thought I was gonna be settling down in this place when we first moved in, and now I'm not so sure. So we'll see what God has, and who knows, maybe that's why we didn't do the rent to own. That's maybe why it didn't work out, so that we can move somewhere else. Favorite holiday. So I would have to say probably my favorite holiday is Christmas. I like the decorating, I like the magic of it, I like with my little kids. But yeah, I just love Christmas and I love Thanksgiving and this whole holiday season. My next favorite would probably be 4th of July. My family is very patriotic and we love America, and we do a lot of stuff on 4th of July, so that's probably our next one. So I think that's it of all the questions I have. If you guys have any more questions, you want to give me questions in the comments below for me to do a follow-up video, I would love to answer any of your questions. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a like so I know, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!